Hello friends, Namaste. Good morning or good evening everyone. This is Lavanya. I live in Australia. So I'll be the host for this session with divine blessings of Dr. Brahmarshi Subhash Patriji and Swarnamala Patriji. Let us start our today's session. I would like you to welcome back to the Divine Breath YouTube channel, PSSM Australia, initiative of Pyramid Spiritual Society movement. Please do subscribe the Divine Breath YouTube channel. So for the last 2 weeks, we are discussing about Upanishads. So let me give you a recap of our previous class. Upanishads means sitting near, that is sitting near a teacher to get knowledge. Upanishads are considered the end of Vedas, that is Vedanta. Shankaracharya wrote commentary on 10 principal Upanishads from Advaita viewpoint. There are 4 ways to reach Brahman, that is Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Last week we started this Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad comes from Atharva Veda. Mandukya means frog in Sanskrit. It has 12 verses or sutras. In Mandukya Upanishad, there are 3 states, that is wakeful consciousness, dream state, and the third one is the state of deep sleep or dreamless sleep. So out of 12 sutras in Mandukya Upanishad, so far we have seen the first 3. The Sutra 1, which talks about Om, the word Om. Om means the whole universe. All that is past, present, and future is indeed Om. Om is cosmic vibration. The Sutra 2 talks about Atman is Brahman. And Sutra 3 talks about waking state. So with this, I would like to welcome Prasanna Medisetti from Houston to continue this session. Over to you, Prasanna Garu.
Namaste. Namaste to everyone. As whenever we read Upanishads or whenever we are studying the Upanishads, we need to start the way like we have to feel like, because we have to have the full respect and the full faith in that Upanishad. And whatever the Rishi is trying to explain, we have to meditate, means we have to be in the full faith, we have to listen, then only we may be able to, because Upanishad may not be able to understand if somebody says or anything. I'm here only to explain something, but in order to understand you yourself, you have to conceptualize, you have to contemplate on that with the full faith on that Upanishads. So before we start the mantra, let us start with the prayer. Let us start that Rishi, whoever is telling, let's start and we can hear that wisdom from the same Rishi's consciousness. Let us pray. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamedaya Purnameva Vasistate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So before I start with the actual Upanishads, so because we started with the prayer, it says that Purnamida Purnamada means we are all that whole, complete wholes. So in the Purnam, in the completeness, if you remove something also, the remaining is completeness, it is there. And if you add something to that also, it is the completeness. Purnamada Purnamidam. Even if you take out 0, out of 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is also 0. It is not the 0 is not that none. It is the Purnam. That is what the Shanti prayer is saying about here. Now we will go back to our Upanishad. The first 2 mantras of that Mandukya Upanishad says that everything that we are conceiving is nothing but the Omkara. So how that everything is the Omkara, we are just seeing in the remaining mantras. The third mantra that we have seen is, in the third mantra we see that Jagarika Sthano Bahi Pragna Saptanga Ekona Vimshati Mukaha Stula Bhug Vaishwanara Pradamapada. So in the Pradamapada, the first stanza, it says that Vaishwanara, whatever that state, we call it as a Vaishwanara, and the state is nothing but the waking state. So whatever that we are conceiving, the waking state, how we are conceiving Ekona Vimshati. Ekona Vimshati is 19, with the 19 mouths we are actually conceiving, with the Saptanga, with the seven avayavas, seven avayavas and seven things, that is Surya, with eyes, with all the things, like we discussed about the seven things, right? So that with all those seven things we are conceiving the fire, and with the 19 mouths we are conceiving 7 limbs and 19 mouths. Okay, what are those 7 limbs that we conceived? Anybody remembered? The 7 limbs are the head, the heavens are the head, the sun is the eyes, and the air is his breath, the fire is his heart, and the water is his stomach, and the earth is his feet, and the space is his body. These are the 7 limbs. And the 19 mouths are 5 organs, the Gnanendriya, ears, skin, eyes, tongue, and nose. And then 5 organs of action, that is the vocal cords, hands, feet, reproductive and excretory organs. And 5 living breaths, apana, udana, prana, apana, udana, samana, and vyana. And our four minds, that is mind, the 4 parts, that is intellect, buddhi, manas, ego, ahankara, and the consciousness, the chitta. So antakarana, the 4 together. So with these 19 mouths, we are actually conceiving this world, that when we are in the Jagrada Avastha, that means when you are in the waking state, you are conceiving the world, you are seeing the world with all these things. And this particular state is called Vaishwanara. So we are in the Vaishwanara state. Whenever we are in the Vaishwanara state, we are actually conceiving the world with all these 19 mouths and the 7 limbs. That's how we are doing it. So how that is related to the Om, that we will see later. Now that is he is explaining about the 4 different states. The first state we already saw that one. What is the second state? The second state, here he talks about the second state is Swapnasthano Stha Pragnaha Saptanga Ekona Vimshati Mukaha Pravivikta Bhuk Taijaso Dvitiya Padaha. So here he is saying that the second state, in the second state are also, you are actually conceiving the world with the Ekona Vimshati, that is 19 things you are actually conceiving. But those 19 things are inward. Whenever you are in the Swapna Sthano, so that means you are in the second state, you are in the dreaming state. In the dreaming state also, if you take, right, whenever you are dreaming, you feel, because you feel that there is you went to somewhere else, and you feel that it is a real, that we discussed about the example of Janaka Maharaja, right? So when he is in the waking state, he saw that whole the dynasty is there, everybody, the ministers and everybody is there, servants, everybody is there. But what does he dreamt of? He dreamt of that he was defeated by some other king, and he went to he was expelled in the kingdom, and he went to the other neighboring kingdom, and he is just literally begging for some bowl of food. And in that also, in the last minute, that bowl of food also was gone by the one bird or anything. Then he started crying, what is this thing? He did that ha kara, what is this? Then by that time, because he is literally feeling that it is a real, in the dream also he's feeling that it is a real, that's why he just shouted out loud. By the time he shouted, the servants came, oh sir, oh Maharaja, is there, everything is okay? Then he woke up. Then he is thinking that, is that real or is this real? So whatever that he experienced in the dream state, is that real? Because he really experienced, he feel that fear, he feel that hunger, he feel that desperateness that he wanted to have a bowl of food. He felt all of that. So there he has those feelings. Now when he woke up, he has that the servants are calling and ministers are there and everybody is coming, and everybody is asking, is that real or is this real? Which one is the real? Whether it is a waking state, whatever that he is actually conceiving as a real. In the dreaming state, whatever that he saw is the real. So even in the dreaming state also, your mind, you are actually closing all these 19 things, inwardness, but still it is there. working. You are able to feel the feelings. You are able to, your mind is still working. So whatever that you, if you see, right, because whatever that throughout the day, if you are thinking of something, whenever you slept, you slipped off into the sleep, then you dream of that only, because your mind is working. Your mind is still working in the dream state also. So whatever that there in the entire day, the same thing is actually going in the dream state, and you are experiencing the same thing in the dream state as well. The second state of the Atman, that it is feeling is dreaming state, or this is called Pravivikta Bhukta Taijaso Dvitiya Padaha. So the second state is called the Taijasa. That's the first one is Vaishwanara. Second stage is the Taijasa. In this second state, the consciousness is turned to inwards. It is going inwards. Actually, in the first state, you are actually seeing everywhere. But the second state, the consciousness is turned into inwards. It is operating with the 7 instruments, the 7 limbs as usual, and with the 19 channels, but they are engaging in the subtle energies, subtle objects of the mental realm. So everything, whatever that you are seeing, you may be seeing a ocean, you may be seeing whatever that you are seeing in the dream, it is all your mentally you are conceiving those things. So it is your mental realm only. In that also, with the subtle energies, you are actually experiencing everything. So this particular state is called Taijasa, or a shining one. Taijasa means it is a shining one. Whose activity? So whatever the activities that you are seeing is in the dream state. It is the conscious. It is also a conscious state. It is the internal objects. You are having that internal object within this. So what is this dream state? It is nothing but your reflection of your impressions on a waking state, or it is the reflection of your past and present, whatever that it could be. Some of the times it could be the past of this particular incarnation, or that could be the past of the previous incarnation also. You may be feeling it in some of the in Mahatma's lifetimes or Jivita Charita. If you read it, right, what will happen? They will say that some of the things they can take away. As per the karmic bondage, you cannot take off. You can, you have to, which means that you have to go through the things that you are supposed to go through. But whenever you are actually going through a guru or anything, they will say that they can get rid of those karmic. How can they get rid of this? They say that some of the times the things that you have to experience in the life in the Jagrada Avastha, they maybe make you to experience in the Swapna Avastha itself. There also you will feel pain. There also you will feel all the agony. But still, because it is all the Swapna Avastha, the moment you come out of the dream, then you will say that, okay, nothing happened. But in that particular small amount of the time, you feel all that agony. You feel all that pain. So because whenever you are actually going to the Sadguru or the kind of people, they are able to take it off. It is not that they can totally take it off. You must have heard these stories, right? That's what, even in the Jagrada Avastha, even in the Swapna Avastha, whatever that you are experiencing is also a kind of experiencing that your consciousness is experiencing. The impressions are the result of the suppressed desires. So sometimes it is a suppressed desires as well as the past karmas. Whenever you have to experience some of the things that you may be experiencing, in some cases you may be experiencing in the dream state. The 7 limbs and 19 objects are same as the Jagrada Avastha. Only thing is, there it is going outward, here it is going inward. So there you are actually experiencing, and you are feeling that real world, but here you are seeing that it is a dream experience. But both the places, your consciousness, your mind is going through that pain or a pleasure. Both you are actually going through, whether it is Jagrada Avastha or Swapna Avastha, you both places you are doing it. At the cosmic level, the subtle state, or this particular state is the cosmic level. If you see that, the Hiranyagarbha, you must have heard this one, the golden egg or the golden womb, or this is called the Taijasa, the brilliant state. Okay, in the dream state, the perception of that there is due to the soul's own light. How are you perceiving the things? Because you closed your eyes. If I'm opening eyes, I'm able to see everything. Okay. If I'm closing my eyes, how I am able to perceive? Because you are able to perceive with your own light. You have your own light is there. That's soul's own light. You are able to perceive the thing without intervention of your sense organs. You are not actually interfering any of the sense organs. You are not going to the sense organs, because when you are in the waking state, you are able to conceive everything with your sense organs. But when you are closing, without intervention of the sense organs, you are able to see all the things. Let me share you something to show the difference between these two. Are you able to see this, my screen now? Okay, here see, this is the waker state. In the first state, right? This is the waker state here. The waker, all these cells, organs, and everywhere, all these are looking outward here. The ego, mind, intellect, everything is going outwards. So this is the waking state. This is the first Jagrada Avastha. And here the second one is the dreamer. The conscious is turned inward. Here the consciousness is turned outward. This is the inward. So all the sense organs were turned inside. The mind, ego, intellect, everything is turned inward towards yourself. This is actually the real self. Whatever it is there here, it's a real self. This is the dreaming state. What is the third state? That is the limit, that is a formless consciousness, limitless bliss. So this is a sleeper where here nothing. Your sense organs were shut, your mind is shut, your ego is shut, and your intellect, everything was shut off. Only the self is there. Only you are able to experience the self in the deep sleep state, the sleeper, right? Completely. Here you are not dreaming. Your conscious is not at all means your intellect, in ego, mind, nothing is working actually. Your sense organs are not working. You won't feel like, you won't feel anything. That is the sleeper or the formlessness, and you will have that limitless bliss. So what, that is the third state that you can feel it. That's the third state. That is the state that you can feel, that is the one which you can dream. We can say it as the third state, that is deep sleep state, Sushupnavastha. In Sanskrit, that is a Sushupnavastha. That is what the fifth sutra says. Yatra supto na kanchana kamam kamayate na kanchana swapnam pashyati tat sushuptam. So it is not the Jagrada Avastha. You are not there, or you are not there in the dreaming state also. Then it is called the Sushuptam. Sushupta sthana eki bhutaha pragnanagana evanandamayo hyananda bhukto cheto mukha pragnana Trutiya Padaha. That is a third sutra. That's what he is saying it. In this state, the deep sleep, one is neither in the object, you are not conceiving any objects, nor you are not dreaming anything. You are not seeing the objects outside, you are not seeing the objects in the dream. That particular state is called Sushupnavastha or Pragna. This particular thing, the first one is the Vaishwanara, second one is Tajasa, and this particular state you are in the Pragna. So that is the deep sleep state, whose sphere you are in the deep sleep, and whose experiences are unified, and who is this is a mass, you are just the mass of consciousness. You are not actually conceiving the world. You are not actually using any of your sense organs. You are not using your ego or mind. That thing is not there. You won't feel like I am sleeping or I am in the deep sleep. You will not feel nothing. You will just feel. You may feel that sometimes you may say that, oh, I slept like a dead person, or I slept like a baby. So these kind of words you must have heard, right? So that means, who is that I? Whenever you are coming out of that particular deep sleep state, then you are saying that I slept like. But when you are in the deep sleep state, you don't know anything. Actually, how many hours you slept or anything, you are actually experiencing the bliss. That is why you feel that whenever you come out of that deep sleep, you feel so much energetic, so much happy, because you are experiencing that unlimited bliss. So you are happily sleeping and you are experiencing that unlimited bliss. Once you come out of that, again that consciousness, that ego, everything come out, right? Then you will say, I slept like. So that I is the self, that I is the real consciousness, that I is this real self. That is the one we have to, even whether Ramana Maharshi says or any other Mahatma says, you have to find out who is that I. You are, I means I am not Prasanna, or I am not what I am doing, I am not what I am teaching. I am, there is something I. So there is something within you. So everybody, and whatever that is there within you and within me, and it is the same I, it is the same consciousness. That is what we have to go. We should be aware of that. In the awareness state, we are aware of that. We can, in the waking state, we are aware of what it is really happening. But in this deep sleep state, you are not aware of that mass consciousness. But once you come out of that, you are aware that you are in that consciousness. You are in that deep sleep state. This is a causal state. This is a causal state, which is not a waking, which is not the dreaming. Then it is a causal state, which is a deep sleep. Totally, you will get that energy regenerated and re-energized and relaxed, because you are connected. No, you are not connected with your ego. As long as we are connected with ego, I did this. Why they have to do that to me? Why? This is because of the ego. Your mind is always bothering you, because you feel something, you are the great, and other persons are doing something to you. So you are not connecting to the source energy. Your consciousness is not connecting to the source energy. When in the deep sleep, you will be connected to your source energy, and you feel that bliss, because you are connected to that supreme self. Whatever it is within there, the supreme self is there. That is the deep sleep mode. So here you can say, here for a, I have heard somewhere it's saying that deep sleep can be converted, can be just compared with the sleep mode of your computer. So whenever you are just going, you may be just putting in the sleep mode, right? That kind of mode. Here the self is prajna. So when you are in the deep sleep mode, you are in the prajna, not taijasa. Taijasa is a shining one. Here you are in the prajna, you are all knowing state. Once you are in the deep sleep, your consciousness went into the prajna state. The sleeper does not desire any enjoyable pleasures outside the world. He doesn't know any of the, he will not get the enjoyment out of some objects. He will feel that enjoyment within himself. Deep sleep is the state of that high knowledge, the state of the knowledge through which internal and external objects are not the one which are giving you the happiness. It is there's nothing perceivable is possible in this deep sleep state, but still yet you will be so happy. That is the point of the deep sleep net. It is a state, or it's a doorway to the cognition of the state of the consciousness you are going, right? This is a doorway. Once you are going to, from there, you can go to their reality, unawareness. What is that reality? You can go to, you can find out who is that real you. Who is the real self. You will be able to find out. There is a presence and absence of perceptible gross objects. In this deep sleep state, there is a presence and absence of these gross objects are absent there. They are not. They are unaware of this particular reality, but still they are happy. That is what it says in the deep sleep state. I'll just give a pause if there is any questions, because we talked about 3 states. We have to go to the next state. So the 3 states are waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Is it clear now? Any questions? I know last class I parked one question. I remember it. I'll address as soon as this is over. If I remember in the beginning, I would have started with that question. Okay. If there is no questions, let us go to the 6th mantra. Esha sarveswara esha sarvagna eshontarvemesha yoneha sarvasya prabhava vaipyaho hi bhutanam. So what is that? In this, what he is saying is, he is the Lord of all. Eshaha, he is Ishva, Sarveshwara, Sarvagna, all-knowing. Antarvyami, he is there inside and outside. Sarvasya, everywhere, anything. Yoniha, he is the one who is the molam, he is the molam. Then Bhutanam, Prabhava Aisho, he is there in all the living beings. He is the Lord of all. He is the knower of all. He is the inner controller. He is the source of all. And from him, all the beings originate in him, and finally they disappear in him. What is that? That is the Ishvara. That's what he is saying. This is equivalent to the Ishvara or the Lord or a God at the cosmic level. That is what he is saying in the 6th Sutra, which is equivalent to the state of unmanifest Prakruti in the Sankhya Shastra. In Sankhya, if you take it in Bhagavad Gita, it is 15th chapter, I guess, there is a Prakruti Purusha. It's a Purusha is the omniscient, omnipotent, and Prakriti is the one which is that is the unmanifested form, and Prakriti is the manifested form of that particular consciousness. The pure consciousness manifested form is the Prakriti. So here, when you are in that particular last state, that what you call, you are in the unmanifest state. You don't know anything. You are just in the pure consciousness. You are in the pure bliss. Whereas dreaming state, waking state, and all these states are the conscious states. You are actually doing something. You are actually conceiving something. The happiness in the deep sleep is greater than all forms of happiness or the pleasures born in the sense contact. More than you feel like having anything. Once you are actually, because you may not, if you don't go to the holiday, you still can be happy. If you don't have the luxury car, you can still be happy. But if you don't have a proper sleep, you cannot be happy. Next day, you will be dancing like a monkey because, oh, yesterday I don't have a sleep. I'm just not feeling well. So because that sleep, the deep sleep, you should require. We all need it. Once we have that deep sleep, you are able to regenerate your energies. You are able to feel happy, that ananda, that satchit ananda, right? That satchit ananda, the bliss or delight or satisfaction, all these things you are able to get it once you are in that particular final state, one in the deep sleep state. This 6th sutra is also talking about that deep sleepness of the deep sleep state of that particular, how you are actually getting the ananda and all. Now, next thing is, let me go to the next state, that is a Turiya state. What we are doing in this Turiya state, that is the 4th state. In the 4th state, it is saying that you cannot explain how that 4th state is. Neti, they say in Vedanta, right? It is not that, it is not this. That's how you can say. Nastha pragnaha, na bahi pragnaha, na bhutaha pragnaha, na pragnanam ganaha, na pragnanam, na pragnam, adrushtyam, avyavaharam, agrahyam, alakshanam, achintam, avyapadeshyam, ekatma pratyasaram, prapanchopashamanam santam. Sivam advaitam chaturdam manyante sa atmasi vigneyaha. So he is saying this is all not. Whatever that he is saying is, it is not asta anta pragnaha antarmukam. It is all. It is the antarmukha. It is there. It in the antarmukha sthiti. Bahi pragnaha bahyamukha sthiti means it is the outside one. Ubhayam. It is not. Consciousness is not both of it. Even if you club together, that is also not that Turiya state. That is also not the pure this thing. Pragnana ganam, whatever that you are doing, it is not that. If you are in the active state, that is not the thing. Apragnanam, if you are not conscious, that is also not the thing. Grahyam, when you can conceive, that is not the Turiya state. Agrahyam, if you cannot conceive, that is not the Turiya state. Alakshanam, you can mark it, that is not the conscious. Achintam, you can just meditate upon, or that is not the Turiya state. Apyavadesam, you can explain, that is not the conscious. That is not the Turiya. Ekatma pratyasaram, that is, you can just grasp with one thing, that is not the Turiya state. So this is not, all of this is not the Turiya. Here in this slokam, it is saying that it is the background, underlying, whatever, it is not, it is saying. It is not, all the above 3 states are not the thing. When Janaka Maharaja is asking that, who is that Astavakra, his guru, what did he say? Either that is true or this is true. What did he say? Neither that is true nor this is true. Whatever you are seeing is not true. Whatever that is there in your dreaming state is not true. Both are not real. You have experienced here? Yes, I experienced here. You experienced it there? Yes, I experienced it there. But both are not real. Here, what he is saying is, both, whatever you can conceive, it is not the real one. Whatever you cannot conceive is not the real one. Whatever you explain is not the real one. I can say in simple word, if anything that you can define this, then that is not the real. That consciousness, pure consciousness is one. You cannot define, you cannot explain. That is the one. The absolute consciousness is like, it is a nirguna Brahma. You cannot transcend, you cannot do. There's a true state or infinite, ananta. It is non-different. It is not a dualistic nature. It is, you cannot explain with any of the things. That is called the Turiya state. That one is called the fourth state, which is called the Turiya state. In this state, Ajaitavada, that's what he says in our Sankaracharya's Guru's Guru, Gaudapadacharya, he says that Ajaitavada. You may not see this Ajaitavada in Mandukya Upanishad, but if you see that his Guru's Mandukya Karaka, so in that you can see that Ajaitavada, that is a non-organizational, apprehended. So that's the fourth state. And this particular state is termed as a Turiya, the pure consciousness. This Turiya is a pure consciousness, transcendental, eternal, non-dual. This Mandukya Upanishad is describing this state as a fourth state. In this mantra, he states the qualities. What is not the qualities? He negated. The description shows that is a neti. That is not that. That is not that. Something else is the nothing. Turiya is indicated merely through the positive description, but it is only comes with a negation of the attributes. So that is not, this is not, if you are avoiding all of them, then whatever it is left is that left is the Turiya state. That is what he is explaining. In the fourth state, the consciousness, the inner subjectiveness of the world, nor the objectiveness of the world, both are not there here. Both are not conceived. That's what he's saying. Nor the mass of the consciousness. In the deep sleep, you are feeling that mass of the consciousness. That is also not there. You are totally blissful state. It is not the simple consciousness, nor it is unconsciousness. Either conscious or not unconscious. You cannot perceive or unperceive. You cannot relate or unrelate. You cannot comprehend or uncomprehend. You cannot infer or you cannot uninfer. You cannot think or you cannot unthink. It is undescribable. You can say that it is just the undescribable state is the Turiya state. The essence of the consciousness manifesting as the self in the three states, right? It is the cessation of all the phenomena. It is all peace. It is all bliss. It is all non-dual. That is where that Atman is realized. If you say that Patanjali Yoga Sutra, if you go Kaivalya Pada, whatever that he said, that Kaivalya, Moksham, that is the one who realizes that self, right? So it is, Prakruti is the one, it is all manifested world. The one you realizes the Purusha within you, right? Here it's Purusha is not the man, Purusha is the one which is the Atman, right? The one which is realizing, that state is called Turiya state. It is not available in Pratyaksha. You cannot perceive. Anumana, you cannot inference, you cannot agama, you cannot read in the scriptures. We can read so many Upanishads, so many things, but this is the one which you have to experience yourself. That is our goal. Everybody of our goal is realize that Atman. What is that Atman? We have to realize, then we can be in the bliss. We don't want any of these pleasures. Because these pleasures, as we explaining in all the classes, they're coming and going. They're coming and going. The same thing that we got the pleasure. Today I bought a Tesla car. I'm so happy. Tomorrow if something happened to the car, I'm so sad. Because the same thing which gave me the pleasure is also giving me the pain. But whereas in the Turiya state, when you realize that Atman, this will never give you the pain. This will always give you the pleasure, and you will be there in the Sachidananda, that's complete blissness. You can go into that. So that is the reason why we are actually asked, or why we are actually practice that meditation, right? Go to that particular state, Turiya state, where it is not the permanent state. Okay, it is not the permanent state. Once you are in the Turiya, the blissfulness state, you have to continuously practice also. Then only you can stay in that ananda, a peaceful state. Otherwise, you will not be there. So this is the fourth quarter, or the fourth state is the inward, turning inward. It is not turning inward, not turning outward. That's a blissful state. It is invisible things. There's nothing is there. So that particular state is called the Turiya state. That is the fourth state that we are learning in this Mandukya Upanishad and 7th Sutra. That one is. Is it clear now? So far, I didn't see any questions. So now what we shall do, because in the first two sutras we said everything is Om. Then we talked about what is the 4 states. Those 4 states we talked about the next 5 sutras. Now 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what it is saying is, in these 5 sutras, it is relating this Omkara. It is the states with Omkara. How does, because in the first they said that everything you perceive is Omkara, right? So how does that Omkara is relating to all these things? So that is what he is saying in the 8th sutra. In the 8th sutra, because I'm just referring to the mantra just to read. So, Soyam Atma Adhyakshakaram Omkarodhi Matram Pada Matra Matrascha Pada Akara Ukara Makara Iti. So that's what he is saying. This Atma, so this Atma is this Omkara is the one that is, it is everything. He is saying that Omkara is everything in this world that is explained, like the same, the Atman that is explained is endowed in the 4 quarters. In all the 4 quarters, this is nothing but Omkara. It is divided into all these parts. The quarters of Atman is same as the letters of Om. A-U-M. It's not A, actually English A, it is A-U-M. Om. That one, right? So that is the Omkara. Om is a designator. Atman is a designation here. The letters A, U, Ma correspond to the 3 states. What are those 3 states? Waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states. The 3 states are representing by A-U-M. Okay, the transcendent state of the Atman, the Turiya, the 4th state. So the last time in other Pradhamam group, somebody asked the question like, how does that AUM is this state? How come that 4th state is actually the Turiya state is relating to the Omkara? In the Omkaram, whenever you are saying that, what do you say? Then you start again Omkara, right? So what is that you are actually experiencing after that Omkara? At the end of the what are you experiencing? Can anyone tell? I want to listen from you. I will wait for your answer.
Silence.
Yes, exactly. You are experiencing the absolute silence at the end of Makara, right? That silence is Turiya state. That is the silence where we want to go. So last time somebody asked a question like AUM is representing all the 3 states. Then you are showing in the one diagram that I kept it, we are showing that beyond that is the consciousness, pure consciousness. So that silence is our Turiya state or the 4th state, which is corresponding to the after that Om. So whatever you are seeing in this Jagat, whatever you are seeing in this world, whatever you are perceiving in this world is everything is Omkara. You have to go beyond that to go to that bliss beyond this particular world. The 4th state, the Turiya, is realized the silence behind Auma. That state is a Turiya states. So these letters corresponding to the 4 manifestation of the Atman, 4 manifestation of that Atman. What one is gross, that's a gross state. Second one is subtle world. 4th one is causal world. And 5th one is unmanifested world. So everything is coming and manifesting. Once it coming to the physical plane, we are able to see. Before that also, the same thing is there in the causal worlds, Manomaya, then subtle world, then it comes to the gross physical world. So physical world, whatever we are seeing is in the gross state. Before that, it is in the subtle. Before that, it is in the causal. And before that, it is in the unmanifest state. So whatever there in the unmanifest state is, that is what we call it as a Turiya state. So everything is in the thing. So in the Sutra 8, if you take, right, in the Sutra 8, what they are giving. So in the Sutra 8 is giving all the things, entire, all the 4 states are belongs to the Omkara, that the Turiya state belongs to the silence, or that after silence, whatever it is, that is the Turiya state. The 9th Sutra, it is saying, Jagarito sthano Vaishwanaro karaha pradhama matra apteradi masyad na apnotiha vai sarvan kamanadischata bhavati evam veda. So it is saying that Vaishwanara. So what is that Vaishwanara? The state that we call Vaishwanara is the waking state, right? So Vaishwanara is relating with the A. the first letter of that one, that is the Vaishwanara. So Vaishwanara is the state, which is the waking state, whose sphere or activity is in the waking state, that is related, that is designated with the Akara and the Omkara. The first letter of the Om is accountant of all these things. Pervasiveness or accountant is the first. So how it comes. Is a starting word, not only the starting, whenever you waking up state, right? That Akara is the one which is coming. So when you are opening your mouth, then silent. So you are just opening your mouth and then going to the Ukara and then closing your lips with the Makara, and then you are going to the silence. The first Jagrada Avastha is opening. That means you are actually seeing the world. Okay, you are seeing that world, whatever the conceiving that world, right? That is related with the Akara. The waking state can be considered as a start of the two states. That is, similarly, the letter A is being the start of the alphabet and comparable with the waking state. The simple word A, the first of all the sounds, one who is aware of the first level of the reality and has the fulfillment of all the longings is a successful. So whatever it is waking, that is all Akara. So what he is saying in the scriptures, what they are saying is, when you are Omkara, when you are actually meditating on the Omkara, if you are meditating on the feeling that the Akara is nothing but your waking state, all your desires will be fulfilled. All your desires, when you are actually going to it is not that because is waking state, I wanted to meditate on only an don't do that. That is not the thing. When you are doing that Om, complete Omkara, but when you are with the thinking that when you are doing that on which is the waking state, with the meaning that if you are doing it, then that is the one which is giving you that all the desires of that waking state can be fulfilled. The letters U and M are comparable with the other states. Okay, this describes greatly the Vaishwanara Upanishad. Vaishwanara state is greatly described in the Chandogya Upanishad also. How this can be happened, what are the things that you can conceive, that is also explained in the Chandogya Upanishad. The same thing was given. That is about the ninth mantra or ninth verse. So the first the state, it is the waking state, was mapped with the Akara of the Omkara. The next one is the next sutra is the 10th sutra, right? The 10th sutra is Swapnasthana Staijasa Ukaro Dvitiya Matra Utkarshadhu Bhayadvat Na Utkarshati Ha Vaignana Santatam Samanascha Bhavati Nasya Brahmavit Kule Bhavati Ya Vedam. So what he is saying is, this second state is Taijasa, that is a shining state. That's what we said. Taijasa means Atman is a shining. It's a consciousness is experienced during the dreaming state, is equated with the Ukara. The second letter of the Om. The account of his superiority or the intermediateness in between, he who knows and attains that superior knowledge receives the equal treatment from all the finds of his family. That is, no one is ignorant of that Brahman. So we are not ignorant of that Brahman. That's what he is saying. That here, if I just translate by word, Swapnasthana, Swapnavastha. So take the account of the Swapnavastha. So what is that? You call it as Taijasa. You are calling it as a Taijasa. That's the word. Ukara is Ukaram. Dvitiya Matra, it's the second part. Utkarshat, the Sreshtam, that is the topmost one. Ubhayatam. Because you are able to experience both. You are able to sleep as well as you are able to experience the world in the dreaming state. Whoever actually conceived this one, he is the one who will nischanta. You can just happily, gnana, you are able to conceive the gnana in that. Samanaha, you will be able to feel that sameness, because whatever you are experiencing in Jagrada Avastha, Swapna Avastha, the same self is experiencing. If you are able to have that one, then you are the Gnani. Otherwise, whenever you are there in this Anyaha Kule, in that Kular, in that Vamsham, Abravit Gnanikan Nabhavata, he will not be born. So here he is also giving that the thing is, whenever you are in the dreaming state, he is also giving like when you are learning that particular knowledge, that's you are experiencing the same thing is experiencing the waking state and the dreaming state. Suppose if you don't know, it is not that in this lineage, what they are saying is you have enough of jnanis in this lineage. That's what he is saying. One more thing, you have some of the in this lineage, you will be able to experience these things, and you are able to get the people who can who already experienced this. So we have those people who can experience these things also. That is what he is saying in the 10th mantra, which is the Swapna Avastha. Okay. The third one is, again, the 11th mantra is, the third one is Sushupna Avastha. What he is saying? Sushupna Sthana Pragno Makara Stutriya Matra Mite Rapiteryam Minota Ha Vam idam sarvamapi tischa bhavati evam vida. So what he is saying is, in Sushupna Avastha, that the sthiti is called Pragna. The first one is Vaishwanara, second one is Taijasa, and this one is Pragna. Pragna is Atman, whose sphere is in a deep sleep. That is the letter M or sound. That is because they both are measured, because all become one. Here both Jagadavastha, both are gone. You become one. You are becoming one with only that mass of consciousness. He is the one who is able to measure all and comprehend himself. He is not actually, the senses are not working here. So you are comprehending within yourself. You are in the deep sleep. You are in the pragna state, and you are in the causal state of the world. So the letter M here represents the end of the chant Om. This is the measure of the AU chants. The one who chants Om, thus capable of measuring and knowing all. So the one who is actually meditating on Om, he is capable of knowing all. He is capable of knowing the self, because Omkaram is the pranavam, that is such a powerful. When you are meditating, that too, when you are meditating, think that A represents your Jagradavastha, O represents your dreaming state, and represents your deep sleep state. So you have that consciousness and then meditate on it. It contains, it is the knower is the more subtle. Here you can understand the knower. Knower is actually knowing all the things in this particular state. So that is the 11th mantra. And now we come to that last one. That is the after what is happening. That is absolute silence, which is nothing but the Turiya state. The fourth state of that Omkara is the Turiya state. So here he is saying that in the Turiya state, Amatraschyato Vyavaharika Prapanchopashamanam. Here it is a Sivodvaita Emo. So there is no duality, nothing. Here you are actually in the fourth state. You cannot explain the fourth state is this. Whereas all the three states I'm explaining, if you are conceiving, it is this. If you are, but fourth state is the one which is not all of this. No, neti. So that is state is called the fourth state. The fourth state is without the parts of, or without any relationship. The cessation phenomena. You are cessing all. There's no dual. There's nothing. No, the Om is verily Atman. He who knows, the merges himself in that Atman, right? That is the fourth aspect. Fourth aspect is a soundless aspect of that Om. It is not a utterable, or it is not a comprehensible through the senses by the mind. You cannot comprehend by the mind. With the cessation phenomena, even the bliss, the soundlessness sleep, the aspect becomes known. That is that non-dual. You will be experiencing that Aham Brahmasmi. You will be able to experiencing that Aham Brahmasmi. The part of that Om, right, is a silence. The end of the part is the silence. That is, it doesn't have any namam. It doesn't have any rupam. That Turiya state it doesn't have. Om is chanted with the knowledge, with all the three letters knowledge. You will be going to that fourth state. When the Om is realized, you will be able to realize your Atman. You will be able to realize your Turiya state, the ultimate self of the things. That is what it will be realized. That is the four different states. Actually, I will show you some 6 minutes video of to understand, right? So what exactly this is. Let me share my screen. see this. I'm not. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Sorry. Whatever we learned, right? Oh, I think I have not shared the sound. Let me share my sound. Share the screen. Basic. Share sound.
It on the news because
Oh, how silly that ego can claim all formless Divine Mother. Through an unbroken living
You're not able
tradition,
to see, right?
No, not able to see.
gifted us our self-portrait.
No. What do I do?
I think if you just share the screen, we should be able to hear the voice.
No, right?
Yeah. Can you play
This
it?
is what we are actually, this is what we are doing it, right? So see how, just listen to this, because whatever I explained that you can see through this animated one.
Through an unbroken living tradition of sages, you gifted us our self-portrait. A portrait that contains both the self and the appearance of the mere self. It is a portrait that applies to each individual. We all function and operate in exactly the same way. We appear different because our bodies do not look the same. Also, the collection of memories, habit patterns, desires, wishes, and wants stored on our hard drive is different for each of us. Simultaneously, this portrait is also a picture of the whole of manifestation, the totality of existence. So it is your portrait as well, O dear, formless Divine Mother. The appearance of duality is a play of consciousness. Non-duality is the essence of existence. This portrait of existence reveals our true nature and offers us a path home. Yet our true nature lies hidden, veiled by ignorance. Thus, as we walk the appearing path and uncover forgotten aspects of ourselves, it is experienced as expansion. The conscious part increases and the unconscious part decreases. At first, it may appear as if I am discovering my senses, my breath, my mind, and even my silence, my true self. Oh, how silly that ego can claim all this to be its possession. Thus, from the ego point of view, it might appear that the journey is like this. I am moving inward, discovering the center of my being. Everything along the way you uncover is subject to change. So, how can this be the true self? Seeking to find that which does not change reveals that there must be something beyond body, breath, and mind. The center of your being is the source of all the other parts of you. Wait a second. If mind, breath, and body emerge from this center, then this center came, so to speak, first, and all the others later. Realizing this, the ego slowly dares to see that it is not self-existent. Ego is not the owner. It all flows from this center, including ego. What will happen is a 180-degree shift. Suddenly it becomes clear. I, as ego, am not moving inward. Consciousness is moving outward as a me. All I did was retrace the outward moving flow of consciousness. Consciousness plays as mind with the appearance of an ego, as breath, as body, as senses, as an appearing me. If you and I recede into the source out of which we emerged, do we dive into different sources? No. We're not merely connected. We are coming from the same source. We all come from the same source. Can you see it? Everything, all appearing forms come from that. It is the appearance of ego, which is none other than consciousness itself, that has the seeming ability to appear as if it can isolate itself from the whole. So out here, they appear as different. Here, all is one. Yet, all is Brahman. Unity plays as diversity. What an amazing magic show it is, isn't it? What about this? Over time, people in different places have retraced the outward moving flow of consciousness back to the source out of which they emerged. Out here, they appeared as Buddha, Mohammed, Jesus, Swami Rama, Swami Vivekananda, Ramana Maharshi, Swami Yogananda, Ananda Mayama, and many, many others. But they all knew by direct experience that all is one. They knew that everything emerged from one source. They served the local people in a way that worked for them at that time. Thus, they may appear to have shared different teachings, but only the vase was different. The flowers, the essence, were the same. They all taught love. They were all prophets of love. Because if you see that all is one, you love all and exclude none. You are no different from them. You too can be a prophet of love. With practice, you can polish the ego to make it see where it gets its energy from. Then, ego can become a representative of the formless consciousness by appearing as an individual while fully knowing that it is all one, sharing selflessly, giving selflessly. You can see consciousness manifesting as and through everything around. All comes from that, and all is that. It is all consciousness and its play. That is why I personally call formless consciousness Divine Mother, because formless consciousness appears as a lap of love in which all forms can play in freedom.
Yeah, I'm going to call it right.
Okay. I hope this gives you a good understanding of what we are trying to say in all our Mandukya Upanishad. So we are saying that this is the waking state, this is dreaming state, and this is a deep sleep state. But all the states are not the true. The true consciousness is there in the Turiya state. So that's where that consciousness is coming, and actually it is in the form. So whatever that you are seeing, the real world, and also the same consciousness is there. It is there within me, with everybody. So it is only that the different types are differently we are appearing. That's all. The underlying consciousness is the same. So with this, I conclude that Mandukya Upanishad. I will open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasanna ma'am. Thank you. Let me see if masters, friends, let me see.
Yeah, well, before I answer, sorry, 1 second. Before I answer that, I just wanted to bring you one thing, because last time I mentioned you this Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, and Dvaita. I couldn't draw the things, right? So here is the one. If you see, right?
Yeah.
Advaita, the first one, non-duality. So that whatever we are learning in this Mandukya Upanishad, it is just the simple. So here, the Atma and Paramatma, you, me, and everybody is the same. Okay, in Vishishta Advaita, this is the whole supreme thing. Special, the whole supreme is here, and I am in this blue, you are in this yellow, and somebody else. So these are all the things which are there within us. So the supreme God is there. We are small particles in that. That is a Vishishta Advaita. Dvaita is supreme God is somewhere and we are somewhere. So we the duality. So here it is the duality. So this is what, whenever I refer Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita, Advaita, right? Advaita Guru is Sankaracharya, Vishishta Advaita Guru is Ramanujacharya, whereas Dvaita was propagated by Madhvacharya. So these are the three gurus who propagated the three different things here. Okay, so we have to understand the Dvaita in order to go to the Advaita, because when we cannot explain the things, when you opposite explain, when you are separate and I am separate, then you can bring them together and they can say you are the same consciousness. So from Dvaita to Vishishta Advaita to Advaita, we all can move. So that is an ultimate thing. So this is the one which I just wanted to show you. And one more thing, question before your all questions. I don't know whether they wish there or not. Last time somebody asked, like, when there is a pure consciousness is only there, why these are the states? Why waking state? Why dreaming state? Why deep sleep state? Why we have to experience? Why we have to come to this earth? Why we have to understand the God and again go? All these things, right? Here, if you see that one, so as you say, when there's a pure consciousness only, okay, initially that's what I learned. I read in one of the book by Karma Siddhanta by the Bhishma, through what do you say, to auto writing, they got some knowledge. In that, what they have written is, so in the initial days, when the consciousness, he wanted to become, because the God himself, he cannot do any, even say he wanted to experience, right? So God, suppose you have everything, like whatever that you wanted to have, you have everything. So where do you feel? How do you feel? You have everything, but you don't have anybody around yourself. Then you don't want all the things, because you wanted to show that I have this, I have that to somebody. Then only you will have some happiness, right? Same wise, the God also, he wanted to show what he had, what is the capacity. So he started that Aneka Maudunugaka. He himself has become so many things. That same ultimate Brahman became so many, manifested into the different forms. Okay, when it was manifested into the different forms, it forms as a trees, mountains, animals, plants, and nothing is conceiving that's God's greatness, and then he started the human being so that he can do it. So he is able to conceive that God is great and all the things, but he also understands that he is the particle of the God. So in the initial days, the people are coming, they are enjoying whatever the role that they are playing, and they are going. There is nothing is happening, because they're coming to this world, the world that the same consciousness was created. They are enjoying all the pleasures and they are going. There's no fight, nothing, because each time they are taking a different role, enjoying that. Like a movie, one actor will play one role. After that role is over, then he'll come out and he will play the different role. Similarly, people are playing in that and they are not actually worrying. So the God was not so happy. So he wanted to create something. He gave some independentness, something that, okay, he made sure some of the people, he started like knowing that they are the God pretending not to be God. That's what he said. He started saying that some of them are the God, that they remember that they are the part of the God particles of the Paramatma, and some of them they didn't remember. What started here? Because there it started like, okay, the people who know that you are they are the part of the God, they started dominating the people who forget that they are the particles of the God, and they started you have to do this. These people started worshipping it or something. They started taking the advantage of those people because that manas ahankara was given, right? So then the God is saying, oh, here the people were started the selfishness. So how do you actually make them understand that whoever is know that they are the God, but they should not actually, because whoever is did not remember they are not the God. They are also the creation of the God only. It is not that they came from somebody. They are also manifestation of that same pure consciousness. Only thing is they didn't remember. We all don't remember. that we are the part of the pure consciousness. That is why we are thinking that you are separate and I am separate, because we didn't remember, or we are not experiencing that. So whenever we are doing that, then the God, then he bring up the karma siddhanta, that are the law of justice, or whatever you call it as. The karma siddhanta is applicable only for the human beings, only for us, because we were given that intellect, ahankara, that selfishness, everything is came only for us. So until and unless you balance your karma account, the positive or negative, you balance, you have to come again and again to this earth planet, and you have to take birth, and you have to experience, and you have to understand that you are the part of that supreme consciousness. The once you understand, then you will be going back. This is all the play of the creation. So why we have to come, why we have to go is the part of the creation part. Hope it clears. Okay, Lavanya, now over to you.
Thank you, Prasanna garu. Hope Varasar, your question is answered. I think Varasar left. He had some work. Okay. Anyone else, masters? Your feedback or comments or any questions? So here MS is asking for the link which you have shared.
I'll share you the PPT. PPT is having the link.
Okay, sure.
I'm sharing the PPT, right? I think he is in your group, right? MS, he or she. But anyway, I'm sharing the link here as well, in the chat as well.
Okay. Thank you, Chandana.
I'm not sure. No questions means whether they didn't understand or they understand well.
You have told us you explained it very neatly, Prasanna garu. So yes, I think it's a lot of data, so we need time to probably. We should go ahead and do our homework on this part by reading again the PPT which you have shared with us. And it's a clear, like there are 4 states. That's what we know from this session clearly, that they're focusing on these 4 states.
4 states, yes.
Yes, the 4th one is the main thing. Yes. Yes, thank you, Chandana. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Malati ma'am.
Seems like last so many people watched your video, because I got some few messages.
Oh, is it, ma'am? Oh, good.
Means offline. It seems.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Vanaja ma'am is also stating the same. It's very complex subject, need to revise it. Yeah, we need to revisit it once again. Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Yes.
We got to do our homework.
You have to do your homework.
Yes.
And those who are interested in this Mandukya Upanishad, you can still go to that Mandukya Karaka, because I have explained that principal Upanishad only, right? So those who want to understand more, you can go to that Sankaracharya's Guru's Guru Gaudapadacharya. He has written Mandukya Karaka. In the Mandukya Karaka, he has explained in 4 chapters. The first one is the Agama Prakarana, which is having 29 verses, and the second chapter is Vaitaranya, which explains that unreality, right? Vaitalya Prakarana, unreality is explained, which is 38 verses, and the third chapter is Advaita Prakarana, non-duality, that is 48 verses, and then Alata Santi Prakarana, that is the peace of peace. It is explained the piece of that firebrand, which is 100 verses. So those who are really want to, because this particular Upanishad is given very importance, right? If you learn only this Upanishad and understand, because when you understand everything is Brahman, and whatever the manifesting is only coming from that consciousness, you will not have any of any pain in the pain or pleasure. Both you will not have. You will be in your own bliss state only. Whatever it comes, you will take it as from that source only it is coming. You will suppose somebody is coming and hitting you hard, somebody is coming and hurting you hard, you will say that is also coming from the source. Somebody is giving you pleasure, that is also coming from the same consciousness. They are not different. Once we are understanding that, you need not study all other Upanishads. If you can't follow this, you have to study. But if the Mandukya Upanishad, whoever wants to go a bit more, because definitely I just gave you just like at the head of the ad, that much only I gave. So whoever wants to have more, you can, even Mandukya Karaka, you can have it. There is a small book for each and every sloka. That is what I got it. Small book, each and every sloka, the meaning was given. And also I tried to give in the PPT also. I'll share the PPT, full PPT today, and Lavanya will share with you.
Sure. Sandeep is stating, like, besides the deeper meaning of these slokas that we are discussing well, I remember as a, what is that? Statement of saying that this need on to recite in a particular way, as these slokas were received by rishis from universe in a particular sound or annotation.
Yes, agree totally. Yeah, these to be, as I mentioned previously, I was not a good at Sanskrit, so I'm just reading for the sake of reading, not the reciting it. Okay, the excuse for my ignorance or for my less knowledge on Sanskrit. I can only explain that what I can only conceive the meaning of that particular sloka, but when you are reciting, yes, you are right.
Yes. Anyone else, masters? Yeah. I think today our group is very silent, Prasanna.
Very silent. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, we'll come back and see with another. The next shortest Upanishad is Ishavasya Upanishad.
Okay.
So in the next class, we'll see we will start with Ishavasya Upanishad. So at the end of every Upanishad, you'll try to understand. Everyone try to say the same thing in a different way. So now we have to remember Mandukya Upanishad, which is come from Atharvana Veda, which has a 4 state. Everything is Omkara. The 4 states are related with the 4 syllables of Om, and the 4th state is Turiya, which is related with the silence after the Makara. So that much, if you remember, so that is actually the essence of this whole thing. And everything was coming from that pure consciousness. Whatever that you are conceiving in Jagadavastha, Swapnavastha, deep sleep, everything is coming from that pure consciousness. That is the essence, we can say. You have to remember, you have to get that particular thing whenever you see that Mandukya Upanishad. Hope at least that much I gave you.
Yes, that is very clear, Prasanna. Yes, the 4 states, yes. You have emphasized enough, so we got that particular concept very well.
Here I'll give you one thing, right? One simple example. The gold example that we say that here the chain and earrings and bangles are the gold. But these 3 are just the state. What is underlying thing is just the gold, right? It is not that the chain may go once I melt it up. The earrings may go once I melt it, but the underlying thing is that just the gold. So that is the pure consciousness. Or I'll give you one more example. When there is people are going, right? So he says that this is a table, that is a chair, or something like that. He's saying, where is the table and chair? I can only see wood, because both the table and chair was manufactured with the help of the wood, right? So he's saying that can only see that wood. Same way, whatever that you are appearing, it's a you, me, Lavanya, Sandeep, or whoever is there, everything is that Brahman only. There is nothing, we are not that different. If you can see that, that is the ultimate thing. Whoever is there in the Zoom call or whatever the instruments, the laptop, phone, all the things that we are using, this is all Brahman. We have to go to that stage that whatever you are perceiving, these are all Brahman. When I'm sleeping, if I'm getting a deep, that is also Brahman. Deep sleep, that is also Brahman. That is what we have to consider. So once we are actually knowing that, then we will become that. Then we will understand. It is not that once you are realized that Brahman, you will not feel that, oh, finally I found Brahman. You won't feel that way. What you feel is, oh my God, all these days this happiness is there with me. Only thing is I didn't understand. So that Brahman is there with us now. Only thing, with all these scriptures or with all these satsangs, we will be realizing that Brahman is there within us. We need to realize that's what it is. Okay, Lavanya?
Yes, Prasanna garu. Yeah. I think we do not have any more questions, Prasanna garu, for today.
Okay, nice. You can as well ask next class if whenever you are going in, right? If you have any questions in this particular Upanishad, we can discuss for a while, and then we can switch over to the next Upanishads. I'm okay because you need to have some time also, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you so
all.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear masters, for joining us today. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you again next coming Sunday.